This is Algebra 1, test number 13 through lesson 4.4. We got through some slope introductions. Number 1 and number 2 ask you to find the rate of change. This is like that last section from that homework sheet we did. It says you run 5 miles in 1 hour and 15 miles in 3 hours. So if you look at this, 5 miles in 1 hour, okay, that's similar to 15 miles in 3 hours, it says. So when it asks you for the rate of change, it's asking you for the minimum one the minimum type of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this tomorrow. I'm not going to make it this simple. You're going to actually, it'll be as if you're looking at this one here. That's not the answer. But divide it. Divide the number 3 goes into this one 5 times. So you wind up with 5 miles. And it goes into this one 1 time per 1 hour. So that's what you're going to wind up doing with that one. You're going to wind up simplifying it to make it say 5 miles per 1 hour. I know it said that at the beginning. That's why I scratched the first one out, just to show you what you actually had to do. This one's a little bit better to understand what I'm talking about. It says a chef cooks 9 pounds of chicken for 36 people and 17 pounds of chicken for 68 people. So 9 pounds for 36 people and 17 pounds for 68 people. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to simplify that. The number 9 goes into this one 1 time, and it goes into this one 4 times. So what it's saying, for he's cooking, or he or she, whoever the chef is cooking 1 pound of chicken for every 4 people. 1 pound for every 4 people. Okay, here's one that's unlike the couple examples that we've had. Number 3 and number 4 is the same thing. It doesn't have points highlighted for you. So what you want to do is you want to pick points that run through intersections. What I mean by that is this is a good point to pick. This is not a good point to pick. Not because it's not right, but since it doesn't run through 2 integer values, an x and a y value, all you know is its x value. You know its x value is at 3. But you don't know what its y value is. You would have to guess it's somewhere between 1 and 2. So what you want to do is you want to pick a point like this one. That one you can clearly see what its x value and its y value is. So from there, remember, your slope is how many times it's going to go up and down over how many times it's going to go left and right. So if you start right here, you're going to go down 1 time. We know down 1 means negative 1. And you're going to go over 1 times, 2 times. That's to the right. That's where your positive numbers are. So you're going to go positive 2. So your slope is negative 1/2 for that one. So the hardest part, again, is to make sure you pick 2 good points. Number 4, you're going to do the same thing. Again, pick 2 good points. They're a little farther apart on this one. This one looks like a good point. This one looks like a good point. So see how many times. Again, how many times am I going up and down? You're going up 1 time. So up 1. Over, how many times am I going left or right? I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Positive 4 since it's to the right. There's your slope. Slope is 1/4. Number 5, find the slope for these 2. So right there, you don't have pictures anymore. Now you got to use the slope formula. M is the change of y, so y sub 2 minus y sub 1, over the change of x, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. There's the slope formula. I'm going to have that written on the board for you tomorrow. So label it. So what you want to do first, xy, xy, sub 1, sub 2, and just plug the values in. The first one you want is y sub 2. Its value is 3. Minus, because minus is in the formula, y sub 1's value, its value is 6. Over x sub 2, its value is 10. Minus x sub 1's value is 4. 3 minus 6, you have to subtract that. Think of a number line if you have to. 3 minus 6 is going to be negative 3. And 10 minus 4 is going to be 6. If you leave it like this, it's going to be wrong. You have to always simplify it. The number 3 goes into both of these. It goes into this one negative 1 time. And it goes into this one 2 times. So the slope for that one is negative 1/2. We're going to do the same thing with the next 2 sets of points. But they're not integers, they're fractions. We're going to treat them the same way though. You have xy sub 1, let's do it this way, sub 1, sub 2, just to show that it's going to be the exact same thing. Negative 0.4, that's the first one, that's y sub 2, minus negative 12.4. Notice it's minus a negative, that's key. If you have to write it this way where you don't lose that negative. Over x sub 2 is 2.7 minus x sub 1 is 6.7. Minus a negative means plus. So negative 0.4 plus 12.4. You subtract 0.4 from it, you're going to be left with 12 on the top. 2.7 minus 6.7. Subtract them. 6.7 minus 2.7 is going to be 4. And since 6 is the higher absolute value, it'll remain negative. So you have 12 over negative 4, or positive divided by negative. Your slope is going to be a negative. 4 goes into 12 3 times is the best value for that one, negative 3. Number 7 says a student finds the slope of a line between 2:11 and 5:3. She writes 11 minus 3 over 5 minus 2. What mistake did she make? Here's error analysis. X, Y, X, Y. Sub 1, sub 2. Okay, according to this, remember our slope formula says y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. There's your slope formula. According to this, she puts 11 minus 3. So instead of putting this one as sub 1, she's counting this one as sub 1, which is fine, and this one as sub 2. Remember, you can go in any order you want as long as you're consistent. So based on that, she's taken her y sub 2 value, which is 11, minus her y sub 1 value, which is 3. That's what she's got on top. Then her x sub 2 value, which is supposed to be 2. Look what she wrote right here, though. She wrote 5. Okay? So she wrote 5 minus 2. So what she did wrong is either she did it at the top or the bottom. Remember, it's going to be one or the other, because as long as you're consistent, it can be either direction. But her mistake, what mistake did she make? She put them in the wrong order. That's the best way, I guess that's the shortest way to write that. She put them in the wrong order. Or you can simply say she put them in the wrong order. Number 8 and 9. You want to determine if these are zero slope or undefined slopes. Remember, when you have a picture, the easiest way using a picture is to say you can write a Z with this one. You can write an N with this one. So that's how they go. 8 is 0, 9 is undefined. If that doesn't work for you, though, look at 2 points and compare them. You know the slope says how many times it goes up or down. It's not going up or down at all for number 8. It's 0. Over how many times it goes left or right. Let's say it goes over 1. 0 divided by anything, the slope for this one will be 0. For the other one, if you take 2 points, the same thing. Let's take this one and this one. It's going up and down, say 1, but it's not going left or right at all. 0. Remember, you can't have 0 at the bottom. That's the reason it's no slope. That's the reason it's undefined for number 9. graph the linear equation. We've only learned two different ways to graph. If we learned, and I'm not going to tell you not to use mx plus b if you understand that way already. We just have not taught you that yet. That's the next thing we're going to get to. We only learned two different ways. This is one way, x comma y, when you put in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, something like that. Remember, you only have to use 3 unless you think you need to use 5. So if that's the case, when you plug those values in for x right here, 2 times -1 is going to be -2, and -2 minus 2 is going to be -4. So -1, -4 is one ordered pair. When you plug in 0 times 2, you get 0. 0 minus 2 is -2. And when you plug in 1 for x, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 2, you're going to get 0. Based on that, we have 3 ordered pairs. So all you do is graph it. -1 first, -1, 2, 3, 4 is second. So this first one, -1, -4 is right there. The second one, 0, -2, 0, -2. And the third one, 1, 0. We're going to have to go over 1, and we're not going to go up at all, 0. There's your 3 points. Since you have 3 points, you can graph your line to look just like that. There's the picture of your graph. And again, that's the most tedious way to graph, but it's the way that always works. You can always fall back on it. Number 11, again, says y equals 1/5 x minus 5. Okay. The only way we can graph this one again is like this, x comma y. So remember, it's easy. It's always easy to use 0 for x. And then for this case, since there's a fraction, it's easy to use -5 and +5 instead of using 1 and 2, or -1 and -2. The only reason being is because when we plug them in, y's value equals 1/5 times 0. We know that's 0 minus 5. So when you plug in 0, y's value is -5. When you plug in y equals 1/5 times -5, these are going to cancel each other out, and it's going to leave you with -1 minus 5. So y's value is -6. And when you plug in +5, y equals 1/5 times 5 minus 5. These are going to cancel each other out again, and it'll leave you with y equals 1 minus 5. And again, 1 minus 5, y equals -4. So when we plot those 3 ordered pairs there, we plot them just like this. 0, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got to go one more, and we're going to have to go to the left and to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have to go up at all. So the first point, 0, -5 is going to be at 0, -5 right there. The second point, -5, -6. You're going to go to the left 5 times and down 6 times. And the third point, 5, -4. You're going to go to the right 5 times and down 4 times. There's your point there. When you connect those 3 points, it'll look something like that for your graph.